Hi, cuties, and welcome to another day of Litmas. How we all doing? I hope everyone's having a great day. We're going to talk about book adaptations, when people take books and turn them into movies and musicals and TV shows and stuff, but we're not talking about ones that already exist. We're going to talk about ones that I want to exist. I've done this kind of video before, and I have more. I have more to add. So I have 15 that I think should be adapted, and I'm going to tell you why and in what format. These are in no particular order. Number 1 is Third Shift Society by Meredith Moriarty. I almost said a different author name, but Meredith Moriarty. This is a graphic novel. It is a kind of paranormal urban fantasy featuring a young girl who I think should be played by Anna Kendrick, because she never ages, and this entire character just gave me Anna Kendrick vibes. I don't mind if it's animated. She can voice the character. If it's live action, she's playing the character. That's my hot take on it. I do think this would be an excellent, cartoon anime. But it could easily be done with live action. It would be really fun, especially since her opposite role is a guy who has a pumpkin head. That's just his head. He's not wearing it, it's his head. But it's very fun. It's very cozy. I feel like we need to get back into TV shows that don't take themselves so seriously. Kind of a little bit like I haven't seen a lot of episodes, but I do want to binge it at some point, is Ghosts. I think in the realm of this is where this could play, where if you take a little bit of like Ghosts, a little bit Buffy, a little bit of Supernatural, and just kind of combine them, because it doesn't feel like super dark and gritty, and if they did it dark and gritty, then it would be a fail. This is much more light and fun. It's still like investigating things, but it should be more fun. It should be more fun and light, and I think it would be great. Okay, cool. Next up, we have the Woodsmoke Woman's Book of Spells. I read this much earlier in the year. It's really good. I feel like this had the vibes of like Practical Magic. It had the vibes of being that kind of small town magical realism, not magical realism, but like that sort of like there is sort of a magic, and people are kind of like, okay, maybe it's a thing, maybe it's not a thing. We're just going to live our lives and whatever. And has that mystery to it, has really good emotional weight to it. So this definitely has to be like a movie. Okay. Sandra Bullock can be in it. Obviously it'd be fine. I'm casting everything right now. But it had that good air that it walks the line of like fantasy fiction. Like, is this a literary or is this a fantasy? It walked the fine line between the two pretty well. So I think it would be like immaculate vibes for a very heavy drama film, which is not normally the films that I enjoy, but I really love Practical Magic, and this one really gave me Practical Magic vibes, so I think this would be a great one to adapt. There you go. Next up, another heavier one is Under the Same Stars. Absolutely, yes. This, however, I think would make an excellent play. It would also make a great movie, but the triple timelines that we have early, well, not early, but we have like 1940s World War II Germany. We have the Berlin Wall situation Germany, and then we have modern day COVID. And I think this would work excellently on a turntable play. This is my vision. If you haven't read Under the Same Stars by Libba Bray, did I even say the title? It's Under the Same Stars by Libba Bray. This is excellent. It again has triple timelines. And it has a really good building mystery. We have connections. We have queer rep. I just really want to see this like on the stage. I think there's a lot of dynamic moments. There could be a lot of really good transitions, lighting wise, directorial, like a lot of really good things that you could do. It could hit. It could really, really hit as a play, or as musical even. We could do this as a musical. I'll never turn down a musical, but definitely on the stage, in the theater, would be great for Under the Same Stars. Okay, cool. This next one could be a TV show, movie, because there's already one sort of like it, and that is The Resurrectionist by A. Ray Dunlap. And this is a queer story about, and I noticed there was like a resurgence of a lot of these with this topic of like how modern medicine kind of came to be with stealing of corpses and stuff and operating them and doing all these kinds of things. There is a, I think, Hulu show. I think is it Artful Dodger? Or is it a different name? It's The Artful Dodger is the main character, and which was really, it's a fun twist for Oliver Twist. Oliver's not even in that show, I don't think, but we have Fagin and we have Dodger, and Dodger is now one of those types of surgeons that's like practicing on people who come in and like it's a big theater thing. That's very similar to this story. It's got a little bit of a twist. It's also got the queer twist to it. And I really, really enjoyed this book. It was super, super fun. Highly recommended if you haven't already read it. I would love to see this one. Like, I would like Artful Dodger, but queer. Let's make it queer. Let's make it queer. Yeah, let's make it queer. Next up, it's time for coziness. And we have The Teller of Small Fortunes, Julie Leong. Okay, I think either a musical. I think this would be a great, because it's a cozier one. It has slightly less, like lower stakes in it, because it is more of a cozy fantasy. There's still stakes. There's still mystery. There's a found family and stuff. And what musical doesn't love a found family? Okay, but also movie would be fine as well. I'm not going to be mad about that. I just love the vibes of this, and I think we as a society need to really, I know cozy fantasy is really big in the book world right now. It's not so big on the TV. And I miss movies like, I would say like The Princess Bride is a cozy movie. Those kinds of things, or like Legend or something, where it's like, it's fantasy, but it's just, you know, there's going to be like a kind of a happy ending, I guess. Not necessarily, but like, it's just got the vibes. The aesthetics of it are beautiful. I loved the magic and everything. This was a book that really surprised me. And I think Hollywood needs to re-embrace what we used to have a little bit, not fully, because there was a lot of problems with movies of the past, and there's a lot of problems with movies of today. And I just think we need to really find that spark again. And I think The Teller of Small Fortunes is such a beautiful story that it can it'll capture that spark. Am I selling you on these? I hope I am. Next up, we have to have And They Were Roommates by Paige Powers. We have to. Okay, we have Oron already. This is basically Oron fanfic, but we need this. We need this because Oron is an older anime, right? It's an older anime. It's had its time. Not a lot of people watching it out. We need it for the new generation. The new generation needs something, and we have Heartstopper, right? So we can ride the coattails of Heartstopper and give us And They Were Roommates. Absolutely. Again, I do think this one could be probably best as like a miniseries style, like a la Netflix series. It only needs like a season, so Netflix can cancel it and it'll be fine because it'll wrap up in the one season. In theory. I think we need that. We need this humor of this very extravagant poet and the anxiety-ridden trans kid who's trying to hide their identity, and it's just we need it. We need this for the youth. It's for the youths, okay? It's not for me, it's for the youths. Next up, back to the vibe of practical magic, we have Spells, Strings, and Forgotten Things. I liked this book. I liked Wood Smoke Women's had more weight to it, but Spells, Strings, and Forgotten Things really leans into the witchcraft side of this, the magic side of the story. It's got three sisters, so we've got our Charmed vibe. So easily we could do this as a TV show and we could expand it. I just don't want them to do what they did to Charmed, because I never really liked a lot of the later seasons of Charmed. It lost a lot, and it's just like, I had issues with a lot of, especially the relationships. I was very much invested in Piper and Leo's relationship, and it just felt like it ruined everything for me in Charmed. Anyway, That's beside the point. Spells, Strings, and Forgotten Things has our three sisters. We have our uniqueness. And there were things in the book that I don't think were explored enough that I think we could explore more in a TV show. I think that could easily be done. So, producers, hear me out, okay? Back to the realm of Princess Bride, but more so Robin Hood Men in Tights and any kind of Mel Brooks film. We need This Princess Kills Monsters. We need it. We need it in a film. We need this so bad. I cannot begin to explain to you how badly we need this. Okay? We need the fun, humor, fantasies again. And I think they tried a little bit with the D&D movie, which I still have yet to see, but we need this book. Okay? I just... I'm mad that these don't already exist, is what my frustration is. This book is so fun. It's got such good humor. It's got such good fantasy vibes and good world building, good character reveals, good transitions of arcs and things. And we just need it. This easily also in the realm of like Merlin. We need shows like Merlin back, and this would easily be another Merlin. Easily. So do it. On a completely flipped side, we're going to talk about Sisters in the Wind by Angeline Boulley. This, we need a movie. We just need a movie or a one-season TV. A one-season TV would be fine. It would cover a lot. This book was heartbreaking and also uplifting and informative and eye-opening. It was so, so, so good. And especially in today's age, we, especially at least in America, we really need to do more to acknowledge the consistent systemic oppression and I lost the word. Almost, I don't want to say almost ignorance to what Native Americans are going through and have gone through for decades and decades and decades and decades and then centuries. You know, I think this book does a really good way of bringing to the forefront of things that are still happening today that I think a lot of people, and especially a lot of white people, think, oh, that's in the past. And it's really not. And this book really reminded me even of my own blind spots in the world today and in our cultures and our systems and how people are treated of all different colors and things. But I want to focus on the Native American here, obviously, because this is a Native American story. And also on the foster system, I think that really needs a bigger light on it too. So it really bridges a lot of gaps and a lot of things that I personally, like, I haven't had those experiences, so I don't know anything about. And that's what I love about fiction writing. I love nonfiction too, but fiction writing can really lead us into deep diving into those situations and learning more and expanding as people and growing as people. And that's what I think this is one of those really important movies that would win Oscars. It's one of those that has very important messages, would need to be handled very, very delicately, but I definitely think it needs to be brought to the attention of the masses of the non-reader world, because not everybody reads books. And I think any of Angeline Boulley's books, I haven't read the others, but I think if this is her latest one, then yeah, any of them could easily be adapted. Next up, we got Calabasas by Arv Kwong. And that is because I think there is a failing in the book. And I think the book itself is so heavily dependent on you being an academic that it doesn't translate well to a casual reader. And I think it would be better visually as a movie, preferably a really, really long movie. I'll accept a two-parter. No, I won't accept a two-parter. It needs to be one big chunk and 5 hours long. That's fine. But I think it has a lot of really good visual elements to it that would go really well for the screen. And Calabasas is not quite as unhinged as like Yellowface, but also not as deep as Babel. And while I think I said in the previous that I wanted Babel, which is why it's not being mentioned right now. This is only books that I've read this year, by the way. It's not books of all time, because I've done a few of these videos before. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, and I didn't. But anyway, Calabasas, I think, would be really fun because we always need another Inferno adaptation. We need more of those. We haven't had a good Inferno adaptation in a long time, and that's one of my favorite. It's my favorite epic poem. It's one of my favorite classics, and we need to delve more into that. I think would be super fun. Okay, we need more Bible fan fiction. Yeah, Calabasas I think would be really fun. It also has that really good romance aspect that I did not expect out of R.F. Kuang. It has also good representation for disability as well. That doesn't get represented a lot, and I think should be more to the forefront of things. I really think Calabasas has a lot more to it, but I think it gets weighted down by the wordiness, not the wordiness, but like the academic wordiness of a lot of things and those debates that are happening, that it took, as someone who really loves R. Kuang's writing and really did appreciate this, I don't think it's a book that's easily accessible for casual readers, and I think it would be more accessible of a story in other formats. That's my hot take. Next up, again, another darker one, but this is because we need better horror films, and I think we're lacking in our horror films lately, and that is Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker. I'm kind of still obsessed with this and thinking about it. It is such a good horror book, and it delves into better mythologies and stuff, but not better mythologies like they're better than each other, but like in the realm of horror movies. I think it would be better to adapt something of this caliber to spread knowledge and stuff about like hungry ghosts and things. And that's just coming from me because I love Asian mythology and Asian cultures and just delving into the history and everything about that. Anyway, that's just to please me. But I think this one, especially because it is set during COVID, it's set during a time where there was a lot of Asian hate, that this book is still very relevant. And I do think now that we've gotten through the bulk of COVID, that we're going to have more movies that center around it. And I think we should start here because this is a very important book. It has great nuance to it. It covers a lot of different topics, and it has such good suspense. It would have such good jump scares. It would have such good horrific moments that, like, let's start here for our new, I guess, our new era of horror movies. We should start here. Start here. On the opposite side, let's talk about a good romance we need. We always need more queer romance, and we're going to need We Could Be So Good by Cat Sebastian. We need it. We need this so bad. And by me, I mean me. I need it. I want to watch these dumb men fall in love with each other because it's ridiculous. But also has, again, more insight into the past. This is a historical fiction during a time period that I don't see a lot of queer romances being shown. When it's set in like late 40s and then we get into the 50s and stuff, it's not a time period we see that I've personally seen. There might be some, you guys can feel free to educate me, that we see at least movies and TV shows and things portraying this time period and queer stories. I can't name one that has this. So I would like more. I would like a lot more of this in the media and in the modern world, because I do think certain people's mindsets and the idea of what the 50s were and what a lot of history was is, of course, erasing queer people. And I think there is a glorification of the 50s that certain people in the world on certain sides of the political spectrum idolize and don't understand or don't want to admit that queer people have always been here. And I think that's a really like holy time in their mindsets that I think this book could do a lot of good in breaking down those barriers. Or just pissing them off, which is also fine. The three more, we're going to do an indie, and that is My Boss is the Devil. And this is by Ben Shankman, and it's so fun. Again, I think we need this. We can replace... I don't want to say replace, actually. Okay, so we have a certain author that is no longer on our good list and has a very popular TV show that is going to be wrapped up in a full-length movie where he is no longer involved, so we can still enjoy David Tennant and Michael Sheen falling in love. You get where I'm going? Okay. This same realm of humor in that show is My Boss is the Devil. And I think a lot of people, especially millennials and now Gen Zers, would also very much relate to as we struggle in this economy to make life meet. And you know what? Why not strike a deal with the devil? Why not? He doesn't seem that bad a guy. He's kind of fun. So what? I'll just do the things. And I have a great time with this one. It's just so fun. It's just fun, and we need fun. And we need to talk about the devil, guys. We just need to have a conversation. We have one of my favorite books of the year, and that is Blood Over Bright Haven by Emma Lang. This is another one that I think is incredibly important because it's such a good allegory, especially for certain conflicts in the world right now and how we treat refugees and things. I think it's a really good and poignant book, and it needs an epic movie that's 4 hours long. I really want Blood Over Bright Haven. I think this book is really important. I hope my singing convinced you of how important I think this book is, because while it is a fantasy, it really, really tackles many problems, but particularly the issue with refugees and how they get treated when they come into another country for sanctuary and they get treated like shit. Okay. I'm fine. I'm not mentally deteriorating as I talk about this, but I think it's really, really important to have Blood Over Bright Haven as a film. Please, Hollywood, please, I am begging you, go read the book and then you'll know what I'm talking about and how badly we need this. Now, my number one, not my number one, it's just number one on this list, but it kind of was number one, is When the Tides Held the Moon by Vanessa Vita Kelly. Again, we got Shape of Water, let's make it gay. Shape of Water, queer. All the queer stories for Shape of Water, but let's do When the Tides Held the Moon. Again, set in a time where queer people are erased quite a lot, but not as much as the 50s. I think there's more in this time period that we've seen. No, I'm thinking books still. I'm still thinking books. But anyway, I love this book so much. It's so beautiful, and it has such a good cast, and we have so many. I mean, we loved Greatest Showman, right? We loved Greatest Showman. What was the Greatest Showman missing? Queer people. That's what it was missing. It really was. It's a queer anthem. A lot of queer anthems in it. None of the forefront of the stories were queer in Greatest Showman. And it missed out. It missed out on that. And I think that's why we need this book. Again, could easily be a musical because there's already music in this. When our main character plays instrument and we have songs and things, easily we could do this as another musical. I don't know if we want to, because then people would just be like, this is the Greatest Showman for gays, and it's like, yeah, which is why it's better. I think it needs to. Again, it talks about really good things, especially, again, immigrant issues and disability issues and lots of different issues that I think this book talks about in a really great way that could help build conversations that people need to be having. Cool. Hope that works. So anyway, that's my 15 books that need to be adaptations yesterday. So please get on that. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. What other books do you think need adaptations, and what can we do without? Like, we can definitely do without a certain someone's HBO adaptation that no one asked for and no one wanted. Weird casting anyway. And we don't need certain animated series of certain vampire POVs. We don't need those. We need these. So HBO, please reconsider your lineups. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go now. See you tomorrow. Bye. the rest. Tomorrow, Q defines herself as a Satanist for recommending devil book. Don't cast AI actors in any of these, okay?